Katie Hobbs and Kari Lake were invited. Unfortunately, Katie Hobbs declined the invitation, so she will not be invited. Kari Lake, however, did accept the invitation. So would you please welcome to the stage candidate for Governor of Arizona, Kari Lake.
Just leaving the first ever Hispanic town hall. I want to see if Katie Hobbs is going to show up. Si va a dar la cara. And of course, no dio la cara. That's how much she cares about the Hispanic vote. She doesn't. She doesn't. So once again, which is good that she didn't show up, because a lot of Democrats were here and they're voting for Kari Lake. Because if you don't have the courage, Katie Hobbs, to show your face at the first ever Hispanic town hall here in a Latino community, then how are you going to govern the state of Arizona?
So there's not one specific lesson you could share with me, other than Espanol with you. It's 1/3 of the state.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I have never seen anything quite like this. And what I mean, what I'm talking about here, is Democrat Katie Hobbs, who is challenging Republican Kari Lake for the Arizona governor position. I've never seen a politician so obviously run scared of a debate / confrontation with their political opponent. Again, this is honestly shameful stuff that's going on here, as Arizona, the governor race, is neck and neck at this point. Okay, at first, Kari Lake had some issues. She was basically trailing Katie Hobbs for a long time, but now she has closed the gap and the race is virtually tied, right? So Kari Lake has a very, very, very real shot of winning this governor race. And one of the reasons why is because Kari Lake has thoroughly exposed Katie Hobbs and also exposed the media as well too, for the fact that they're not going after Katie Hobbs as much as they're going after her.
Abortion is effectively banned in the state right now. Tell me, is that something that you support?
I support saving as many lives as possible. And what I really want to know, and I've been waiting, I tune into you guys all the time. I want to know where Katie Hobbs stands, but I never hear you guys ask her that. I'm pro-life. My plan would be that every woman who walks into an abortion clinic know that there are options out there. They don't have to choose that. There's families who would love to adopt a baby. And right now, the way it's been going, they go in and they only have one option.
That's it.
Nobody tells them that there's other options. We want to help our women. If they're afraid, we want to help them. We want to give women health care, and I want to help people. But I really challenge you, and I'm happy to get back to you on this, when you find out where Katie Hobbs stands, because let me tell you where she stands. She supports abortion right up until birth and after birth.
That's right.
She supports, if a baby survives a botched abortion, that baby die on a cold metal tray. And none of you ever try to get her to talk about her stance. So get back to me after you do. And tell her. That I want to debate this topic on October 12th, but she really needs to show up for that debate.
Again, as you see there, Kari Lake is essentially calling out the media for never asking Katie Hobbs to explain her positions, right? Her extreme radical positions, specifically when it comes to the topic of abortion. And Kari Lake has also exposed Katie Hobbs as a racist who got accused of racial discrimination against an African-American woman that used to work for her back in the day, who, by the way, successfully sued for this racial discrimination and won in court.
For your information, NBC, Katie Hobbs was twice convicted of being a racist, cost the taxpayers $2.75 million. And I haven't seen your organization cover that much. We cannot put a racist in the governor's office. You guys like to call the conservatives all of these names, neo-Nazi, whatever you call us. The true racist is Katie Hobbs, twice convicted. Thank you.
Why can't you, like, they want to watch your debate. Actually, they love you.
Yeah.
And they want to know why Hobbs is not speaking. We know the whole thing, but what is it from you?
This is the first time in our history since we've had this governor debate, clean elections debate, that the candidate refuses to show up on stage and debate. And I think I know why. She has terrible ideas. Right. And she's trying to say it's because I'm a conspiracy theorist. Then show up on the debate stage and call me out, for goodness sakes. She says I'm going to shout at her. I don't know. People who know me best know I'm not a big yeller. No. I want to talk about the issues. It's a job interview, and she needs to show up. I did a forum last night for Univision, and she refused to be anywhere near us. She made them put up drapes, and she parked on one side and required that I park on another. This woman is unhinged if she can't face her opponent. We need a strong governor, not somebody who's afraid to debate, not someone who's afraid to even look at me. How is she going to handle the cartels? How is she going to handle all these forces that are working to detract from our quality of life here in Arizona? We need strength in a governor, not someone who's weak. Can you imagine Katie Hobbs having to fight for Arizona, try to bring businesses here, and having to compete against a governor, Kristi Noem? Kristi Noem will eat her up and spit her out. And I'll tell you what, Governor DeSantis will do the same. We do not want to become California. The policies that my opponent is pushing are policies that will turn us into a state like California, which is a state that is going down the tubes, unfortunately, for the people of California. We need strength, and it's unbelievable that she won't stand up and debate. And this is happening all over the country. They have terrible ideas, they know the people aren't with them, and they're afraid, and they're cowards. And she knows she's going to get called out for being a twice convicted racist, which the media, the mainstream leftist media, won't cover. For your information, NBC, Katie Hobbs was twice convicted of being a racist, cost the taxpayers $2.75 million. And I haven't seen your organization cover that much. We cannot put a racist in the governor's office. You guys like to call the conservatives all of these names, neo-Nazi, whatever you call us. The true racist is Katie Hobbs, twice convicted.
Yeah, so that is Kari Lake setting the mainstream liberal media straight on the fact that they refuse to ask Katie Hobbs any real questions or to call her out about the fact that she refuses to debate or even show up to the same venue as Kari Lake, despite the fact that the Hispanic vote is up for grabs, right? The Hispanic vote is not guaranteed. But apparently this politician is so scared of Kari Lake and actually debating the issues that she doesn't even want to show up to a Hispanic town hall, right? Or even be again on the same stage with Kari Lake doing a Univision, event, right? Something's wrong, right? Again, you would think that somebody who is been accused of being a racist, right? Who was found basically guilty of firing a woman who successfully sued for racial discrimination. You would think that she would want to talk to the so-called people of color. But for whatever reason, she doesn't really want to talk to them if it involves Kari Lake. And NBC actually asked Katie Hobbs about this in their Sunday morning interview. And this is what she had to say. Take a look.
One more time before we let you go, because I think it is on the mind of Arizona voters. Are you saying this morning that there is no circumstance that you can envision or would even try to negotiate in which you and Kari Lake would appear at a debate together before the election?
At this point in the race, with 30 days to go, our schedule in terms of forums is pretty much set, and I'm really happy with where we are in the plans we have to continue talking directly to the voters of Arizona.
Yeah, so apparently this woman is very happy with the fact that she is actively blowing a lead, right, in the governor race. Again, I showed you guys at the beginning of this video. She was leading. And now, the closer we get to election day, she is losing her lead, and she still does not feel the need to go on stage with Kari Lake and to, call Kari Lake out about how terrible she is, right? Allegedly, right? Apparently not, okay? And I think one of the reasons why she is not willing to debate Kari Lake is because this woman, Katie Hobbs, can't even answer simple questions like the question that she was asked about the Hispanic community in this Univision interview. Take a look.
Let me ask you, how has it impacted you personally? What have you learned specifically learn from the Latino community?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't necessarily think about it that way in those terms. I think I really value my relationships across the board with different folks, and I learn all the time from people in my life. My sister-in-law, she is Latino, and her family. I love hanging out with them and practicing my Espanol un poquito. But yeah, I mean, I learned so much from her family, but I think it's really hard to separate out Arizona and subtract Latino culture because it's so much a part of who we are as a state. Arizona wouldn't be Arizona without what the Latino community brings.
So there's not one specific lesson you could share with me, other than Espanol with you. It's 1/3 of the state.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think there's many lessons. The emphasis on family values, hard work. Those are something that I value in my own life, and
Yeah, so that is why she doesn't want to debate Kari Lake, right? Because she can't even answer a simple question about what she learned from the Hispanic community. A question that, I'm gonna be quite honest with you, that should be a very easy question for a politician to BS their way through, right? And she did a terrible job BSing her way through that question, okay? Politicians must be able to BS their way through questions like that. That is a basic requirement to be a politician. However, she did her best Kamala Harris impression that she could, trying to struggle her way through that question. But see, here's the thing. While it's obvious that she is scared to debate Kari Lake for various reasons, probably because she feels like she won't be able to actually win a debate against Kari Lake on the issue. She doesn't want to embarrass herself even further. What you're seeing here is arrogance, right? This is the arrogance of the Democrat Party when it comes to the so-called minority vote. Specifically in this case, we're talking about the Hispanic vote. They feel like they're entitled to the vote. So she doesn't feel the need to show up to a Hispanic town hall because Kari Lake is so scary. She's so beyond the pale. She's a conspiracy theorist. She's a white supremacist. She thinks saying all those things about Kari Lake is going to excuse her from showing up to a debate, a town hall, a Hispanic town hall, right? She thinks that, oh, it's an excuse not to show up. I don't have to do any outreach, right? I don't need to go and show up and to talk about issues because Kari Lake is so bad, right? I can't be in the same vicinity as her. It's this, I'm holier than thou. And because I'm holier than thou, this person's so bad, I'm entitled to your vote attitude that a lot of Democrats have. How they're like, oh, well, we don't want to have Trump supporters on CNN, right? Or MSNBC because, you know, they're beyond the pale, right? And we're so holy that we can't be, you know, in the same room with them. We can't even talk to them. But see, in this situation, the voters are looking at this and they're not looking at Katie Hobbs and saying, oh, you're above it, right? By not, you know, debating her or whatever. What they're looking at, they're seeing is a coward. They're seeing somebody who's afraid to discuss the issues and to talk about the issues. Somebody who is not strong enough, who is too weak to be governor, which is exactly what Kari Lake said. This woman, regardless of her policy positions, the fact that she will not even debate those policy positions with Kari Lake tells you that she's not cut out to be a governor. She's not cut out to lead anybody anywhere, right? If you can't even get on the stage with another woman and debate the issues, you're not qualified to lead a state. Because just because somebody has opinions that you disagree with, just because you may find them to be objectable as a person, that doesn't mean that you can't have a conversation with them and address the issues with them. You're running for political office. You're running for political office. So with that being said, man, as you're watching right now, you're literally watching a Democrat single-handedly ruin and lose a governor's seat, a governor's race, election, simply because she's a coward, right? Who doesn't even believe in her positions enough to go on stage and debate with somebody that she doesn't agree with. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.